All right, guys. This is going to be a weird one. So, just to let everyone know, please subscribe to our friend Snitchel Ninja. She's joined us on a few lives lately, and also she's the one who uploaded this footage. So I'm going to go ahead and post the link here in the comments. YouTube.com/@SnitchelNinja69. All right. Give me just a sec, guys. I'm going to let some people trickle in here, and then we'll get going. But this is going to be a pretty weird video. I have some definite things to say about it. I am not a fan of how this was handled at all, and I've only seen part of the video. So there's a lot of this I haven't seen yet, and we're going to watch it together. 1 sec. Let me just fix up my audio real quick, because it does that thing with the microphone all the time. All right, that should be better. All right. Let's keep in mind this was on December 12th, 2023. Somebody called in a wellness check on Laura Owens, and we're going to see how her mother reacts, because it doesn't appear that Laura enters the picture at any point, but we'll see. Like I said, I've only seen a little bit of this, and then decided to watch it alongside everyone else. So, hey, D. Chris, what's up? Okay, let's get going, guys, if we're ready.
Hi there. Is Laura here? Yeah, she is somebody called in a welfare check?
So, guys, can you hear the video okay? Let me know. Do I need to turn it up, or is it fine? Hey, Cindy, what's going on? I just want to know before I get too far into the thing. Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a friend from New York. I don't know if you know who that might be.
No, what I do know is that she is.
Why is the first thing she says, did somebody call in a wellness check? It's almost as if you know something is going wrong with your daughter, but okay. And for those who don't know, this is Jan Black, I guess is her last name right now. This is Laura Owens' mother. All right.
It's the target of an online harassment campaign that has been going on for months. Okay. And one of the things that they wanted to do, it was started by a disgruntled ex-boyfriend of hers.
Ex-boyfriend. Your daughter went down on the guy twice. That does not make a boyfriend.
And he started posting all of this crazy stuff about her on Reddit, stuff that is unbelievable. Right. And so
she posted on Reddit her entire story and a Dropbox of files. But please, go on.
He has encouraged people to do to call in the Scottsdale Police Department and ask for a welfare check. Okay. This is like the third one in a week. Okay. Oh, wow. And I had contacted.
Hold on, prove it. Prove where he's encouraging people to do that. No one's encouraging anyone to do that. The only reason anyone would do this is if there were genuine concern for her well-being. And gosh, I feel like there's a little bit of a reason for that to exist.
She called in and talked to the Scottsdale Police Department as well and said, we don't want your resources. This is ridiculous. It's a prank thing. But I'm happy to go get her. She was taking a nap. This has been devastating beyond belief.
Is she asleep now?
She's taking a nap, but I can wake her up.
I don't think that would be necessary.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah.
For some reason.
First of all, officer, you don't think that'd be necessary? You were called in on a wellness check to check on this person. There is concern for their well-being, and apparently, I mean, I'm just guessing based on like other wellness calls we've heard. Like we've heard the FBI, when they had to call in a wellness check through the Scottsdale Police Department. The FBI had to call in a wellness check. Do you think the FBI did that on Clayton Hecker's behest? So no. Um, First of all, officer, you're a fucking moron if you don't check on the actual person that the wellness check was called on. But you're gonna take mommy's word for it? Do your damn job.
Reason it wasn't in our notes for your address.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna put comments in there that says this is an ongoing prank.
Right. Right.
They still may send.
Yeah, okay, it's an ongoing prank. Sure. Where's your proof? Did you even look that up first? Did you look it up to see if there were any other reports? Did you check to see if that was actually like in the nature of a prank? Did you look to see if there was serious reason for concern? What did the person who called in this wellness check say? Why did they say they were concerned? Do your fucking job.
You have to understand, because if it's not us on,
Uh-huh.
or it's not the same dispatchers,
Uh-huh.
they still might just send on it.
Uh-huh.
But I would work on trying to contact Reddit and let them know.
She has contacted them. They will not take it down. They will
Take what down?
not take it down. And this guy, he's created different fake accounts. I mean, it's
He's going to Great Lakes. Have you looked into an injunction against harassment?
she has.
Okay.
Oh, you guys are a bunch of bitches. I cannot. Like, they don't even look into the actual situation before suggesting something like this. Are you kidding me? Check on the person you were sent to check on. Jesus Christ, I feel bad for anyone who pays fucking taxes in this county.
Against him. This is part of his thing. She's had this against him for 2 years. And
This is an old ex-boyfriend then.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
Are we talking about Greg? She's talking about Greg now. So Greg is now the one encouraging people to do allegedly to do wellness checks. Okay, so this is even weirder. All right, I didn't catch that when I watched the first part, but wow, leave Greg alone.
it's an old ex-boyfriend, and she had the injunction against her harassment against him. I mean, he's really another friend of ours who is an FBI profiler had looked at, what this
Go
guy is all
fuck
about. And
yourself.
she said he's the kind of a person who
That is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. My God, hold on.
ex-boyfriend, and she had the injunction against her harassment against him. I mean, he's really another friend of ours who is an FBI profiler had looked at, what this guy is all about, and she said he's the kind of a person who is not going to stop unless he thinks he's got to win.
Okay.
And he had said to her,
He looked at what this guy is all about. Are you saying you had a some sort of super friend FBI profile in your back pocket, and for some reason you never thought to mention that before? Number one, and number two, did he talk to Greg? Did he see all of the messages between Laura and Greg? Did she tell him the truth about how many dates they'd been on? I would really love to know the answer to those questions, because if this person actually exists, which I highly doubt, there's no way that he would come up with that, pull it out of his ass, based on what? Laura's word? And her word doesn't paint the picture of a stalker. It's just some guy that doesn't want to date her. I cannot stand these people. I mean, I had never heard Jan really talk until now. And wow, I tried to avoid it. You know what I mean? I try to be like, okay, well, I mean, it's her daughter. She's doing crazy shit to protect her family. Nope. This is full blown nutty, man. Wow.
he texted her, "I will destroy your life. I will destroy your reputation." And that was 2 years ago. And
No,
he's
he did not.
He's just continued this.
And if he
Um,
did, it's
Is
because
he
he was
local
abused
here,
into it.
or-
Yeah, he's local.
What's his name?
He's local. His name is Greg Gillespie. But he could have called from a fake number, or like I say, he's tried to start stuff online.
He could have called from a fake number, started stuff online, kind of like your daughter did.
She contacted the Scottsdale Police Department with a lot of instances of these, and they sent it to the prosecutor's office. And the prosecutor's office said that they didn't think they could get a conviction on it. They said there was
Because he didn't do anything wrong?
a lot of stuff, but they didn't know that if they would be able to get a conviction on it. So I think that one of his
You cannot convict people for not wanting to have babies with you, especially if they did not come inside of you. I'm sorry that I even have to say that, but this has happened twice now. 3 times, I guess. Ugh.
motives is to try to make it so that when her order against him comes up for renewal next year, that he can say, well, look, she's crazy, look at all this.
She is crazy. She's not insane, not clinically insane, just really, really crazy.
Stuff that he's posted online about her, and you know.
Well, and then especially for her, document it, get copies of it, so then she can go right back to the judge and be like, this is what's going on.
Right. And he's contacted a podcaster who has also been doing just relentless posts about her.
I dare the police to actually watch what she's talking about and then see if they come up with the same conclusion. Oh no, Dave Neal posted a video online where he talks about public court documents. Better call the FBI profiler there, Jan. Fuck off.
And
that's so strange.
I know.
Well, what happened, what prompted a lot of this stuff is my daughter became pregnant by the guy who was the Bachelor last year.
Okay.
And she became pregnant by him in May. And then
Congratulations, Grandma.
Like, oh, you're not really pregnant.
It's a blowjob.
You are pregnant. It's not mine. And then other times he was saying to us like, oh, but he wanted to be involved in the pregnancy and all this kind of stuff. So anyhow, when this ex-boyfriend found out about her pregnancy with this guy, then it sent him into kind of an overdrive thing. And then he reached out to him, and it's like my daughter finally.
Officer Fidget Spinner, can you please stop doing that with your hand?
Did a big post on Medium the other day, explaining, just the toll that all of this has taken on her, and how it's crazy.
Read the Medium article, fellas. Come on, officer, do it. You'll see why the wellness check was called.
Is that your neighbor?
I think there's probably somebody. Our neighbor babysits dogs
in
the daytime, so I think this is like pickup.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we're like,
I know. I'm always kind of like that too.
Get online. I also try to get online. You can contact Google at different places and have her information removed from online, like house, phone number, things like that.
Nobody wants that information, so go for it. Yeah.
Work on doing that too. Try to get as much information as you can offline. I know it's hard. We have
these men are begging for her to stop calling and texting, and the police are just like clueless. So clueless.
To do it, and that's exactly how they tell us to do it. And there's ways to like whitepages.com, and you can go on, there's a link, it says remove my information. And you can go on that, have her start doing all that information too. And then I get that they're coming to the house, but see what you can do to block that information.
Right.
So,
well, I feel really awful for you guys because this is it's a waste of resources, and it's obviously
a waste of resources, says the mother of the lady who has called the police a record number of times probably in the last couple years. That is amazing, especially after she called the police over an Instagram post the day after court. Okay, we just
prank stuff.
Yeah.
But do you know what phone number had contacted?
It's a 415 area code. It's out of New York.
415 is San Francisco, because we're from San Francisco. Our numbers are 415.
The 415 one day I tried.
Frankly, that's none of your goddamn business. Because if you start giving out the information of people who make these calls, then that's going to put other people in danger because their loved ones are going to be too afraid. What happens if somebody's homicidal, their loved one calls in a wellness check, that person finds out who did it, and then they go turn around and kill the person who made that call? Come on, officer, don't let me down. Do not give that information out. sound went out here.
It's the number
That's
they have for her.
The person that called us gave us that phone number to contact her. So that whoever called doesn't have
Is
her.
getting old
current.
information online.
Okay, do you,
Well, thank you, Officer Dumb Bitch.
because I just like to,
give me a second. I'll walk out and go grab
Okay.
it.
oh, that would be great, because I'd really like to see if I think it's probably a fake.
What a disappointment, man. What a disappointment. The people that you hire to protect and serve, that's what they're doing. This is what they're wasting their time on. Number one, they're not checking on the well-being of the person who was called for like the wellness check. And also, she's trying to throw someone under the bus for trying to make sure that someone else is okay. This police department is a disgrace.
Number, but
Probably.
yeah, if you could let me know, that would be great.
Do you know how to spell Greg's last name? Is it Gillespie?
ESPIE. Uh-huh.
Do you know his date of birth by chance, or about how old he is?
I think he's around Laura's age, so I think maybe 89 or 90.
The year he was born.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, okay.
when I said old boyfriend, I meant old boyfriend.
All right, that was funny. I'll give her that.
Yeah, 89 or 90.
And is he white, black, Hispanic?
He's white.
He's white now,
He's white, yeah.
and he lives here in Scottsdale. You said.
Yeah, I think he lives on.
This was not the FBI wellness check. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, like this video, but this video is someone else called in a wellness check. If it was the FBI wellness check, they could have just told her, like, the FBI called in a wellness check, because Laura is the one who sent the things to the FBI that caused them to do that. So this was an individual who made the call, and they are trying to throw her under the bus right now. This is how the police protect people, ladies and gents.
Okay. Has he been harassing her by stopping by the house at all, anything like that?
He has gone into her email. They dated very briefly, and she became pregnant by him.
Okay.
And he was very, shall we say, violent in his effort to get her to have an abortion. So she filed
Very violent. What did he do? He asked her. He asked her multiple times because she kept dangling in front of his face. I'm going to take the pills. Okay, can you take the pills, please? I don't want to have a baby. Saying I don't want to have a baby out of marriage. How is that violent?
an abortion coercion case against him,
Okay.
which really ticked him off.
Yeah.
She didn't ask for any money for her. She asked for a charitable donation for abortion coercion. Did you get it?
Yeah, it's for.
Okay, let me see here. Hang on one sec. I'm trying to find my text so I can text myself.
1565.
Here, just, I was gonna.
Okay.
Hope you're proud of that, officer. The only thing I learned from that is that you can't trust the police with anything.
It doesn't have to be.
And I'm gonna actually give them a call.
How is anybody supposed to feel safe making a police report when the cops are throwing people under the bus like this? And they're not even checking on the person who is apparently a harm to themselves. They're just like, oh no, it's fine. It's not necessary to wake them up from their nap.
To follow up with them.
Okay.
What does Greg drive? Do you know?
I don't.
Don't.
I don't.
Okay.
She didn't. I was saying that my daughter had briefly dated this Greg guy, and in 20.
Hold on, guys. Miss Medusa, thank you for the 10. I appreciate you. I have so many questions about how the police handle this. Lots of concerns. Well, the answer is, based on the behavior we're seeing right now, the answer to those questions is probably they were poorly trained. They're bitter that they have to go over there and do the paperwork, and they're too lazy to do the part of their job where they have to actually check on the person in question.
21, I guess. She had become pregnant by him. And he was very violent in his effort to persuade her to have.
Guys, I want to be clear. I'm not somebody who thinks like all cops are terrible. I just don't. Like, I don't think all cops are awful people. But these cops, like, they might not be awful people, but what they're doing right now is very, very awful.
Take abortion pills. And
I mean, for all they know, she could be lying in there dead right now. They would have no idea.
she filed an abortion coercion case against him, not seeking any money, but saying, nobody should be, taking you by the mouth and forcing pills down your throat to get you, to have an abortion.
No pills were forced down anyone's throat.
And so this really started all of his anger against her. And she was able to get a protective order against him. And, it's just like I say, this whole thing has, once he found out, that she was pregnant by the Bachelor guy, then he was just like, oh, okay, I'm going to.
Okay. Brittany says she's napping at 5 p.m. or she's hiding in the house so there's no evidence of her not being pregnant. Okay, good point. Good point. But Jan did just say this is the third one. The third one, and apparently a recent time frame. So I'm curious to know, do those 2 other calls with the body cam footage, do they show a pregnant woman? I'd like to see.
Go tell him this stuff. And he's made lies. I mean, absolute, he's made crazy things. He's posted online stuff saying that he went to high school with her, which he never did. I mean, he's posted on these fake accounts saying that he knew her in high school and that
and as Megan Fox said the other day, they make these reports and it sticks. So even though it's not true, these cops, these absolute geniuses, as you can see through their behavior on this wellness check, these cops probably wrote somewhere in their report that Greg Gillespie, she says Greg Gillespie has a bunch of profiles where he says crazy things and was violent. And that is documented now.
That she was pregnant by a developmentally disabled kid, the father of somebody else, the principal, the school principal. I mean, things that are so unbelievably outrageous. I mean,
school principal. I know you're treating your daughter like she's a child, but she's not.
It's just like, it's to really, I think, try to discredit her again, so that when her order against him comes up, that it'll look like, oh wow, you look at the stuff online, man, So
there.
Listen to that. Okay, what they just said to try to discredit her, so they can look and say, wow, look at all this stuff online that's come up. It's exactly what she's doing to Greg. She accuses people of doing the very things she does to them. We've seen it with Mike in the text. We've seen it with Greg in the text. And now we're seeing her mom do it.
There is a current order of protection against him.
Yes,
Okay.
there is. And
Was
like I
that
said, it
filed through
expires next year.
Scottsdale or
Yeah. Mhm.
county? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, and the guy is unhinged. I mean, I had no clue when, I had said to her when she wanted to file this abortion.
I don't know if I'm more mad at her or the cops, honestly, because I expect this from this woman at this point, but from the cops, come on.
Coercion case in the first place, I said, you know what, just let sleeping dogs lie, just be done with him and everything like that. And she was like, no, I feel really strongly about what he did and the way he did it to me. And
so you contacted him from dozens of phone numbers?
And as I say, it just started this torrent of really, really bad stuff. But anyway, I appreciate it. And
no problem. I'll definitely look into trying to get any information you can removed online, because they had your name too.
They did. What did they have? As
Elizabeth.
Okay, that's my given name. Jan is my nickname. Jan's the name I use.
Robert.
Who?
What was it? When I took a picture of it, just
okay. Yeah.
They have your husband's name too.
Okay, Ron. Okay.
So and this address. So I would definitely try to see whatever you can remove from online.
Yeah. No, they've been trying to post on our social media stuff. They've posted on her social media stuff. They've and this.
Are you upset that people are commenting on public posts? Is that what's happening here?
This guy, as I say, when she was going out with him, he said, like, well, I'm really suspicious of people. So, would you give me your passwords?
Meredith Jackson says they said they would go get the number of the person calling, not her number. Exactly, though. Exactly. That's fucked up.
Because I wouldn't want to think, I want everything to be, I want us to trust each other. So she was like, oh, okay, sure, no problem. So he's gone in to her emails from years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And and
What?
doctored emails and sent them as though they were from her. He's doctored letterhead. He did come here one time when she was dating him, and the first thing he said is, he said, "Hey, I need your parents' Wi-Fi information." He was out here, and he said, "I."
Okay, what? First of all, I don't know if Greg ever went to that house. I don't know if I believe that, but if he did and he wanted the Wi-Fi password, that's a pretty common fucking thing. I mean, how many of us are attached to our devices, especially if you have work and you have work email on your phone, you know what I mean? Or you're trying to get calls and stuff like that. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is okay, this is like maybe this might actually be delusional right here, but not Laura, the mom. Maybe. Maybe, but there's a pretty good chance that she's just being an asshole too.
I need their Wi-Fi. What's their password and stuff like that. So he's been doing
If later when
Okay. On foot out. You're not getting it, Lauren. What am I not getting? Spell it out for me so I can understand what you're trying to say.
you speak to Laura, like I said, I won't necessarily want to wake her up, but if she wants to speak with someone from the police department about everything that's been going on lately, because you said it's been the third time in about the last week or so.
right, and she had talked with Detective Reedy. I think had he had come up with he had sent the stuff and forwarded it to the prosecutors, but the prosecutors just said that they're, they have to be assured of getting a conviction.
Reach out to have her reach out to his.
They don't have to be assured of getting a conviction. That's not true. Because you can't really assure that they're going to get conviction in any case.
Detective Reedy again and let him know what's going on with this now. That may be able to kind of help maybe refile the charges.
I think what his thing was that it would be difficult for him to be able to prove, she was suspicious of all this stuff.
Yeah.
But we pretty,
Okay. First of all, they did give her the number that called in. That's what they just gave her. They gave her the phone number that called so that she could check and see if they knew who it was. All right, that's fucked up. And also, the cops aren't checking on the person who did a wellness check. So, cops, act friendly to gather all the information. I know all about that because I have to act friendly to patients when I know that they're not, totally in touch with reality all the time, okay? I know how that is. That has nothing to do with them not checking on the person involved, like who's supposed to be given a wellness check, and it has nothing to do with them giving the phone number of somebody who made a call in good faith to get a wellness check. So no, you can, have your opinions, but I'm not going to stop voicing mine just because you don't agree. It's not going to happen.
there's nobody else who would have the motive to do it.
It is difficult
It's hard
to
to
prove.
prove it.
It's a proven because he goes under fake names. He, like I say, he obviously, doctored. Did they say what their concern was when they called?
Suicidal comments.
Okay, well, because when she posted this thing.
Suicidal comments. So why are you not checking on her?
On Medium, she had written in there that this unrelenting, this has gone on for months, that this had made her feel borderline suicidal.
Okay.
So, but she said the borderline suicidal thing, but that's not,
It's not the case.
Right. It's like she.
That's not the case? What do you mean that's not the case? It doesn't matter if that's the case or not. You got a call to check on somebody, you better go check on that person.
Had said to me, like, oh my God, how much more of this can I take?
Right.
Does she have any friends in New York?
My daughter lives in New York. My other daughter lives in New York, but she's well aware of what's going on. She would,
and she would contact you directly.
Oh, of course. And Laura talks to her like twice, like 2 hours a day. They're on the phone. So, and I was just with my daughter in there like 5 minutes before you guys rang, and the reason she lives in the casita, and the reason I left was because she said, "Hey, I'm spent from all this. I just want to close my eyes for a little bit."
Yeah.
So,
When did she post that?
when did she post the Medium thing?
Said yesterday.
Yesterday.
No, it was before yet. I mean, it was on there yesterday, but I want to say it was maybe today's Tuesday, maybe Friday night or Saturday.
Okay, that kind of goes with the timeline. I'm going to give this to you. Not that you guys are in crisis, but they might be able to kind of help. Just give her.
Not that you guys are in crisis. When did you lay eyes on Laura Owens to make that determination? Wow.
Someone else to talk to, or they have resources that we don't even know exist.
Oh, really?
Reach out. They might be able to help you point you guys in a good direction.
Okay.
And also reach out to Detective Reed again
And
see if
just
there's
say that
else
this has
that
been
we
going
need.
on.
Yeah,
and-
let him know what's been happening, and
Yeah.
that way he's kind of apprised of it too. So it might be able to help kind of open a different door, a different direction. But reach out to him again.
Okay.
These guys have a lot of resources that we don't even know exist.
Okay.
So give them a call.
Okay. Yeah, it can't hurt because I mean, because like she had said, she had tried to be anonymous with this whole thing initially with the pregnancy with the bachelor guy, and then people were saying, "Well, wait, you can," or this guy was starting the conversation that, "Wait, you can Google the case," and then her name comes.
Dude, people knew how to find that. Like, people know how to Google, especially people on Reddit. They know how to Google. Like, this is ridiculous. Her story is ridiculous.
And it's Laura Owens, and she's a podcaster. She and I do a podcast, and we've done it for I guess since 2017. And iTunes named us one of the top 25 most downloaded new podcasts in 2018. So we've had
Nice plug.
We've had success with it, but I mean, this is just, she really had wanted to stay under the radar on this, and then she finally decided, like, hey, this guy is controlling the narrative, and I have to speak out. I have to explain what's been going on, because otherwise she was feeling like she was getting no support from anybody, because she didn't really want to go tell her friends and everything like that this was all going on.
Yeah.
So it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. But I really appreciate
No
you guys
problem.
commenting.
Yeah, we'll put comments in there so they know.
Okay.
Kind of.
Officer Granick was the guy who contacted her the other night. Like, yeah.
So
he
we'll
was
put
really
comments in there with the address, and then it'll come up in the history. And we can go back and read through the comments. So we'll try to do that to kind of help you guys.
You're really
out.
gonna walk away without checking on her?
I really appreciate it.
Walk away right now without checking
No
on her.
problem.
Hey, wait, I've got something for you guys. Hang on one sec.
What is going on here? What is going on here?
Here. I hope this isn't bribing the cops.
Well, thank you.
I
I will never say no to chocolate. So, well,
Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you. Have a good day.
All right, you too.
What the fuck was that?
Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye. Thanks so much.
Yes,
No
ma'am.
problem.
I told you, they walked away without checking on her. That's exactly what happened. And then she gave him some candy on the way out. Wow. So, no, I am absolutely going to voice my opinion on how the cops handled that call. They did a shitty job. And no, that doesn't mean that they're always terrible, but on that day, they did a shitty job, and it showed they were poorly trained, and they did not check on somebody who very well could have been suicidal. How many bad mothers out there do you think there are that are embarrassed that their kids, especially higher profile people who are embarrassed that their kid has mental health issues? Like, people in those situations, not all the time, obviously, guys, but very often they are embarrassed to share. Like, we've heard a million times, there's stigma around mental illness, and people feel ashamed that they're depressed and stuff like that. So, like, you can't, as an officer who's being called in on a wellness check, you cannot just take the rich mother's word for it. You have to check on the adult woman who is apparently in crisis. And you did nothing. Nice job. The liability is they never laid eyes on. Even if something happens to her, it's going to be ugly for them. Yep, exactly. Dewey says cops basically reduced to trick-or-treaters at the end. That's true. That's absolutely true. Don Hamilton says UK, we get police to do it. Welfare check and break down door if needed. Yep. Like, what happens if... and I'm sorry to get graphic, guys, but this is the truth when we're talking about suicidal people. Like, what happens if somebody's inside bleeding out? Or if they overdosed and they have limited time to get to the hospital and still survive, still keep their brain function. Like, you cannot do that. So no, I'm not going to chill on the cops. Not when they're putting people's lives at risk. Not just Laura's, but the person who made the call as well. They don't know the situation. They don't know the situation at all. And like I said earlier, if somebody makes a call on a loved one and that loved one is a violent person and the cops tell them, hey, this person made that call, they don't know that the person in question is not going to turn around and hurt the person who made that call. They don't know that. They don't know that that person's not going to harass the person who made a call in good faith. They had no idea what was happening in that house, and they did not care to check. That's right. Let's see. Windy A, thank you for the 5. Do you think that Laura or her mom are considered malingering? So the thing with malingering is, like, that'd be like if they were trying to pretend to be a certain thing and they were not. So, like, I don't feel like if they're saying, like, no, I'm not crazy, or people are saying I'm crazy and I'm not, it's like the opposite kind of malingering almost. Malingering is like, for example, when Laura posted on her like part on Jingriss's blog, and she was saying that she was so depressed she couldn't do anything, and like she couldn't she couldn't see the point of anything. That was malingering because you could actually see that the opposite was true. Like, she was traveling and doing horse jumping and stuff like that. That's malingering. So I guess in certain wow, I can't talk. Sorry. Certain circumstances, yes. But no, her mother, no, I don't get that vibe at all, because her mom's not saying like, "Oh, look at me, I'm depressed." Wah, wah. She's just talking about the situation as untrue and as fabricated as it may be. I don't think that her mother is malingering. No. Kathy Williams, oh man, that police department is going to be covered in legal and governance. I don't know, dude. But honestly, is that like, and I don't live in Scottsdale, so is that like a reportable offense if the cops don't do their job and check on the person in question? Because I feel like that's something that should be known. Like, those officers did not do their job that day. And yeah, like, I was a little harsh on them and I, said officer dumb bitch or whatever, like, but honestly, like, when you're looking at something like that, it is infuriating. So, like, the words just come out of my mouth. You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't think that officer is a dumb bitch, but she made a dumb bitch move. You know what I mean? There says delusional is a better word for them. I don't believe that either. Her mother, perhaps. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever really seen her mom talk extensively. But Laura, no. There's just too much to point to the fact that Laura understands reality and she knows that what she's doing is wrong. She's taking very calculated actions to kind of try to point the finger away from her in certain areas where you could tell, like, she, like for example, she doctored that HCG test that she sent to Dave Neal. Like, you're not going to do that if you really believe you're pregnant. You don't think that you need to doctor an HCG test, right? And like, she ripped those ultrasounds from different places like YouTube and a blog, and you don't do that if you feel like you're really pregnant, if you believe that you really have like evidence to show that you're pregnant. So that's not really a delusion, it's just evil. It's just evil and terrible. BS says, as a healthcare professional, Lauren probably deals with a ton of mentally ill people a day, so Lauren understands the implications of the cops not acting appropriately. Yeah. So I'm the person that when the cops pick up somebody who's in crisis, they bring them to me. So they bring them to the ED, and then I have to see them before they can either A, get admitted, or B, leave. Like, that has to happen. So yes, I'm very familiar with how the cops handle things, and as critical as I have been also of some of the cops in our downtown area, at least they bring them in. You know what I mean? Like, at least they're not like neglecting to check on these people that they're called in on. I've actually never seen that happen. Actually, all my complaints about our officers has been that they have restrained people who didn't necessarily need it. So it's kind of the opposite. But no, I don't believe that, going on a wellness check and not checking on the person, I don't believe that that's an okay thing. When you have that kind of power, when you are law enforcement and you neglect to check on the person, that's a pretty big deal. Claire Richards says, asking for a Wi-Fi code is what exactly? My kids do that to every house we go to. Right, because your kids like probably want to like send texts or play games or something, right? So asking for a Wi-Fi code, she's implying that Greg got the Wi-Fi and somehow used it to hack Laura. So yeah. Class of 83, Rob says, did they not beg him to take care of Laura? They definitely did, yeah. We saw that. And especially in the Mike text, you see that, and it's like she was begging Mike to, or they were begging Mike to say or do whatever they had to like keep her alive and stuff like that. And then Jan was talking to Clayton and saying, basically trying to say like he needed to talk to Laura and stuff like that. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, she's saying, why won't you give my daughter a chance, to somebody that she now claims has been horrible to her. So, horrible and abusive. And I'm pretty sure none of these guys were ever either of those things. As I talked about when Schnitzel and Bruce were on with me and we were going over the Greg Gillespie stuff, like, you can see in those documents where, like, the stuff she sent to the police, she cut messages out and reordered stuff in those text messages. So she sent the police a 77-page file of texts, and some of them were either missing or they were placed in a different context. And even in the context that she showed, she badgered the shit out of Greg Gillespie and tried her best to bog him down into doing what she wanted. She tried every which way to get him to commit to her, and he didn't want to. He didn't want to have a baby. So eventually he got to a point where he said some things he probably wishes he hadn't, where he said some things that some people would consider truly awful. But honestly, if you look at them in the context of this person is abusing him and he is in fight or flight mode, just trying to protect himself because she won't stop, he didn't really do anything wrong. Stephanie Lennon says they just want to document as much of their bullshit possible and will jump at the opportunity to get things on the record. That's true. And that's kind of what Megan Fox was talking about the other day. If you haven't seen it, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to look at which day it was. Must have been 2 or 3 days ago. And she was talking about how people will call just to get things on the record and just to have it documented, basically, so then they can point to it being like, see, look, I called the police all these times. Like, oh, this guy has all these. Wow, I just burped. I'm sorry, guys. Look, this guy has all these. This guy has all these police reports against him, stuff like that. Because somebody tried to do it to her. So she knows how it works. Nancy says, I find it hard to believe she was pregnant at her age. Well, honestly, people get pregnant. Like, I know people who've gotten pregnant older than that. Almost 40. And I believe there are some people in their 40s who get pregnant. But, you know, I would say that's the least unbelievable part out of all this at this point. All right. So I don't know if you guys were here when we did the 2 Truths and a Lie last week with my cousin. She is a PhD student, or not a PhD student anymore. She has a PhD. She graduated recently, and she knew pretty much nothing about this case except for like the vague parts that I've told her. So we had her on, and then we put up 3 facts on the screen, and it would be like, Laura has 4 known victims. Laura, sent an email that said, having the babies if I don't hear back tonight. And then the third one would be like, Laura is 35 years old. And then she had to guess which one of those facts was untrue. And she doesn't know all the like bizarre stuff that's gone on here. But tonight, in about 3 hours, I'm having a lawyer on the show. Did I just call this a show? It's not really a show. I guess, sure. I'm having a lawyer on for another episode of that game. We're going to play 2 Truths and a Lie. And he's an attorney in Florida. He knows nothing about this case, except that it involved The Bachelor. Because I did ask him once, I was like, hey, do you watch The Bachelor? But he didn't actually watch Clayton's season. So he knows nothing about this case. And he's going to play 2 Truths and a Lie with me. And I'll see if I can get some guests on the stream with me, but I'm not positive just because it's kind of a weird day and a weird time of day. But Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be good times. Massborn says, and now we know where Laura gets her crazy from. Oh my god, this woman is a nutcase. Yeah, pretty much. McNutt, as a woman in my late 30s currently trying to get pregnant, I take offense. Oh, I gotcha, okay. I'm 31, dude, and I don't know if I'll ever have kids, so. Lauren, you need to watch Megan Fox's stream to get a little taste of the saga of What the Hales. I keep meaning to do that, but it just so happens that like whenever she's streaming about that or Tug is streaming about that, it's I'm always busy. It's just like a bad timing type of thing because a lot of times I'm streaming at night, right? And then also I have school. This is actually the last week of my summer classes, so I have a final that's due on Sunday on top of a couple of other assignments. So that's why I had to reschedule last night's stream, unfortunately. So I just have a lot going on right now too. But I will catch up on that eventually because I really want to. I've heard some blurbs about it a couple times and it sounds like kind of interesting, but you know, Rob, what are you talking about? Ask him to subscribe to Biatch. What? I wonder where Sarcasm is. Hopefully she'll be on tonight at 6. Sarcasm is one of my mods. She's really great. I also have Winks, I have Bruce and Brad, I got Big Tiff Dog. So yeah, I got some good people. Big Bad Marcus, if she's ovulating, she can get pregnant. Okay. So like I said, I'm 31. I don't know if I'll ever have kids. If I do, like the thing that kept me away actually from like saying I definitely want kids was I don't know about the whole childbirth thing. It's like sounds like a nightmare, right? So yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know. Daily Dysfunction says Canton police don't like Megan Fox. Okay. I'll take your word for it. It sounds like something's been going on there. But because I know she does a lot of the Karen Reed stuff, which I actually don't know a lot of the Karen Reed stuff. I don't know the like ins and outs of that case very well. I know the general premise, but I don't really know the details and like all the like little things that people keep talking about. I'm like, oh my god, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? So maybe I should do a Two Truths and a Lie of Karen Reed, but I'll have to answer the questions. Does anybody know that case well? Fancy Pants. Hey, how's it going? I had my first baby at 40. I'm an older mom with a toddler and tired all the time now. Well, I bet, dude. I bet. Jocelot says, I like kids, but birth and pregnancy is intimidating. Absolutely. I mean, I can barely carry my food baby, and that's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know if I want to go through the whole 9 months of baby inside type of thing, especially not the part where it pops out, because that sounds painful as shit. I know a lot of you guys are moms, so power to you, but I don't know if I can handle that. If I had a kid, I would probably adopt. Or if I had a partner and who wanted to carry, that'd be fine. But I'm the type of person who like I can live fine if I don't have kids and I'll be perfectly happy. But if I do have one, I'll also be perfectly happy. So it's like I just don't know. And I take a little bit of comfort in the fact that people do get pregnant later in their 30s because I always do feel like I'm running out of time a little bit for some stuff, But yeah. Quick question: did cops see her the supposed previous 2 times that week per Jen? I don't know, dude. I have no idea. I'm very curious about that though. Zuzu, thank you for the 20. I appreciate you. That's awesome. Very generous. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. This was only 8 months ago. These cops are still employed. Man, I don't know. Like, nothing about that was okay. I mean, I do understand. Like, they're trying to get information from this woman, and so they're going to listen to some stuff that might seem kind of bizarre, but that doesn't mean you go and give her the information of the person who called. That's insane. Kathy Williams, have the other checks been FOIA'd? I'm gonna say probably yes. Not by me, but by either. I mean, Schnitzel Ninja always has, that stuff. And then I think the Flock, they always get stuff quick. They're always on stuff. So I don't know who it was that got this actually. I just know, Schnitzel had uploaded it, but I don't know who got it initially. So I'm assuming that person probably did FOIA the others. But there was a backup. Remember, there is a backlog, so it does take a while to get these things. ITGOT says, of the things to worry about, the 24 to 72 hours of labor/birth are the least to worry about. Listen, man, I'm not popping. No, nothing's coming out of that hole, man. It's not happening. I'm extremely anxious about that. It's just not going to happen. All right? Pass. My wife says she forgot most of it as a coping mechanism for the pain. Well, you're right. Your wife sounds like a strong lady, man. I don't know if I can do that. So I'm just gonna pass on that part. Besides, there are kids that need to be adopted, right? I had this idea, like, when I got into my later 20s, and I, still didn't have a partner, and I was like, dude, I'm almost 30, like, and a lot of people do get married in their like mid 20s and they start having kids and stuff like that, especially, you see your high school friends on Facebook. It's a total cliche. But I started thinking, I was like, well, what if I do end up just by myself? Well, what's going to make me happy if I'm just by myself? Because like I can be happy alone. I'm alone right now and I'm perfectly happy. But I was just like, I thought, if I ended up on my own, I had this picture where I would like adopt or foster some kids, or like adopt a kid who is like not a baby, you know what I mean? But like an older kid who needed a home and who just like had potential, but like, you need the right environment and all that. You don't want to be bouncing from foster home to foster home. Like maybe, I don't know, if there's someone out there that needed help. And I'm not totally saying that's never going to happen now, because like I said, I'm 31 and I'm on my own, so that's fine. But yeah, no, I always thought maybe I would adopt a kid rather than a baby. So if I adopt, it'll probably be not a baby. Bill Marie Alcaraz, what if mom is the abuser and Laura is hurt inside? We kind of like speculated on that a little bit recently, as to like maybe something happened when she was a kid that like, and they feel bad about it, and that's why she's so kind of hurt and all that. But honestly, yeah, no, you mean by the cops? Yeah, by the cops. Yeah, absolutely. Like the cops did not do their job when they didn't check on her. They don't know that the mother isn't abusive. You know what I mean? So. T. Curry says, I love you, Lauren, but this is like listening to a raving lunatic. Why? And also, what did you expect? I don't really know what the problem is, but, Lauren, my daughter, had her daughter on the living room floor after only 15 minutes of labor. Wow, pass. Just pass. For goodness sake, either ask if the female officer can check on the napping LO or give up and go away. All right, I only got a couple more minutes, guys, and then I have to get back to work because I only get an hour. I disagree with the type of call that it was. What do you mean the type of call that it was? One thing I caught in one of her messages, I believe was to Greg, was that her only family was her sister. To me, that says something. I don't know, dude. I mean, she's been living on her parents' property for, I actually don't know how long. And I would assume that she does, have a relationship with the mom and dad, obviously. Especially because she mentioned her dad a lot in Mike's thing. But and also because we know that her parents were begging Mike to stay with her. So, like, the parents are involved. I don't know why she said that. Okay. I have said from day one that IMO Ella was abused by her father and has grown up bargaining using threats of exposure, and it carried on into adulthood. I really don't know, man. Like, I'm not comfortable saying that her father was abusive. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not comfortable saying that. I don't know anything about the family dynamic inside the house. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm not going there. But I understand where you're coming from. I'm starting from the beginning. These are the lies Laura has told her mom. This is insightful. Yeah. All right, guys. I do have to get back to work because I only have 4 minutes left on my break. So, thanks for stopping in. Sorry, I'm trying to read everyone's stuff. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you. And then thanks, guys, for the donations. I really, really appreciate that. I will be back on in 3 hours at 6 o'clock. I'll have a lawyer on the show where we are doing 2 truths and a lie about this case. The lawyer doesn't know anything about the case, so we're gonna see how that goes. It'll be a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys can come by. Sorry if I sounded like a raving lunatic, but I am on a time crunch, and I do have the ADHD pretty bad. So yeah, sometimes I just sound like I'm rambling, but thanks for coming anyways, guys. I love you guys, and I will see you later, okay? Bye.